Welcome to Woodridge High School and welcome to our Freshman New Student Orientation Program. My name is Joel Morgan. I'm the high school principal. Clearly, we would much prefer to have our orientation program the way we've always traditionally done it, and that's face-to-face in the cafeteria. But as you're well aware, our times are a little bit different. So in order to kind of change and adapt, we're going to do a virtual program and make sure that you're ready to go for the first day of school. A few people that you're going to be meeting throughout this program: our athletic director, Nick Mayer, our assistant principal, RJ Braunscheitel, our two school counselors, April Trotta and Chris Vasilati, and a few others as well. In the morning, the first day of school, you're going to be coming through these doors. That's one of the reasons why I'm standing out here with you. To make sure that we get all of our students' temperatures checked, Mr. Braunscheitel and I will be in the cafeteria. So at around 7:10 in the morning, when you get off the bus or get out of your car, get dropped off, you're going to be coming through these doors. Once you come through those doors, we'll do a quick temperature check, make sure you're all set to go, and then we'll get you ready to go for your first period class. Now, while I'm thinking about it, make sure that when you arrive to Woodridge High School, you've got one of these. You've got a mask. You have to wear your mask all day, in all your classes, hallway changes. The only time you won't be wearing your mask is when you're eating lunch. So make sure you come ready to wear your mask, be 6 feet apart, and hopefully, someday soon, we'll get things back to normal. Well, welcome everyone to our cafeteria. As I just mentioned earlier, in the morning around 7:10, we'll open up these doors. You'll come in through the cafeteria. You'll head over to the corner there where Mr. Braunscheitel and I will give temperatures to all of our students. Once we do that, you'll be able to head to your first period class. Now, when you look around, you've probably noticed that there are tables that are missing from our cafeteria. Since we have to be at 6 feet from one another, we're going to have desks rather than tables in our cafeteria in order for you to have study hall and to eat lunch. Now, clearly, this isn't the way we'd like to have our lunch set up. We'd much rather have tables where you can sit next to each other and have a normal conversation. But until all this hopefully goes away soon, we're going to have individual desks for students to be in study hall and to eat lunch.
Hi, my name is Mr. Braunscheitel. I'm the assistant principal at Woodridge High School. This coming school year will be my 8th year in this role. Prior to that, I've also been assistant principal in the Highland Local School District, and before that, I was a teacher in the Akron Public Schools. We're looking forward to this coming school year. I know it's going to be challenging. Many things are unknown, but we'll get through all this together. My main role is safety here in the building, and I work with Officer Dennis very closely. You will see him along with Dan C., his K-9, around the building. If you have any issues or having any concerns, you can always see me. Rather than come into the office this year, I'm pretty much going to spend my days out and about in the halls and study halls in those locations. So if you keep me informed of what's going on, I'll help you out.
The area that we're standing in now is the school lobby. But when you go to get your lunch, this is where you'll go to get your lunch. You'll notice on the floor, we've got stickers on the floor to keep people who are waiting in line to be 6 feet apart from each other. You'll also receive on the first couple days of school a barcode. You'll present that barcode to our cafeteria workers. That way you won't have to punch in your code for lunch. They'll just scan your code and you'll be able to get that hooked up to your lunch account. Once you get your food in the cafeteria, you'll head over and you'll be able to eat your lunch. And once your lunch is finished, we'll get you on to your next class. Welcome to the main office of the high school. There's a couple of people that are very important to our day in and day out operations that I want to make sure that you meet. First is Mrs. Neff and Mrs. Roush. Mrs. Roush is our attendance secretary, and make sure that if you are not going to attend school for illness or a doctor's appointment, make sure that your parents call Mrs. Roush to let us know that you won't be attending school. Also in this office, some folks that you might want to meet Mr. Bronscheidel, he is our assistant principal, and Mr. Mayer, he is our athletic director. Of course, my office is in here as well. So if you have any questions, any kind of issues, make sure you come and see us in the main office. Behind me here is the school counselor's office. If you have any questions about your schedule, any other issues that your school counselor might be able to help you with, you just come right through these doors. When you go through these doors, you're going to see Mrs. Canella. She's our guidance secretary, and our school counselors, Mrs. Trotta and Mr. Vasilati, will be in here able to help you.
Hi, I'm April Trotta, and I will be the school counselor for students with last names A through K. This is my first year at Woodridge. I live in the district and have 2 children at the elementary school. I do have 14 years of experience at a prior school before this. But I'm super excited to be here and meet you guys in person after talking on the phone and emailing for the past several weeks. I'm looking forward to the school year starting. I'd like to talk about how the school counselor's office meets your needs academically. We're here to support you guys with anything that you need during the school day. If you do find yourself having concerns in the classroom with a teacher, please feel free to come to us. We highly always stress for students to build relationships with their teachers and go to them and talk things out to try to solve things. If that doesn't work or you need further assistance, you can always reach out to me or Mr. Vasilati, and we will work with you. Scheduling, we're here for our scheduling needs. We want to ensure your maximum success here at Woodridge. While we obviously meet all the requirements for graduation, you need 21 credits to graduate from Woodridge. It's just one more than the state of Ohio requires 20. Testing is, of course, a requirement that we have to deal with. Under normal circumstances, students would take the air test, and ACT can take the SAT. ACT we offer to juniors for free during their junior year. Obviously, due to the pandemic, we're not really sure what the testing's, where it's going to go, what decisions the state will make, but we will keep you posted on that. And definitely here to help you guys navigate through and explore colleges, get on the Common App, fill out we can fill out recommendation letters for you, FAFSA, scholarship stuff. So we are here for anything that we can help you with your college needs as well.
Hi, I'm Mr. Vasilati. This is my 7th year as counselor at Woodridge High School. Mrs. Trotta, who has students and meets their academic needs for letters A through K, started to mention how we meet your academic needs. I'm going to talk about how we meet the social needs of our students, as well as addressing our enrollment, employment, and enlistment options that we provide to everybody. She is A through K and I am L through Z in terms of academics, but what I'm going to talk about now, if there's ever any questions that your son or daughter has or you students have, and maybe Mrs. Trotta is somebody that you feel most comfortable with regarding a personal issue, it might be because she's a female, or maybe you have her for academics and you feel more comfortable with me, maybe you know me better, or because I'm a male. We're not territorial about things outside of academics, so please don't be afraid to speak up and request one or the other when it comes to things outside of academics. Regarding your social needs, we understand that you're all transitioning to Woodridge High School, whether you were at our middle school last year or whether you're truly new to the district regardless of grade. We're going to encourage you to get as involved as possible, whether it's in a performance choir or band, whether it's in a sport. We have many, many extracurricular activities in addition to sports, our various clubs. We think that the more you become involved, the more that you hold yourself accountable, as well as being able to meet new friends, extend your peer relationships, and expand who your friendships are. In terms of meeting enrollment, employment, and enlistment needs, we will have military reps. Typically, we have military reps available in person throughout the school year, generally on a week-to-week basis. You can't usually have a week that goes by without a branch of the military having a physical presence right outside our guidance office during the lunch hours. We're not sure how that's going to look this fall semester, but at the very least, we hope that they're back in our buildings spring semester. At the very least, the information that they have to share with us will be made available to you either in the guidance office or emailed through you or available online. In addition to exposing you to military options and enlistment opportunities after high school, we will meet with you periodically throughout your 4 years, discussing with you careers that you're interested in for college. Generally, when we schedule you, a typical question will be, what do you see yourself doing when you graduate from high school? Obviously, the closer you are to graduation, the better idea you have about what you think you're interested in. In addition to scheduling you and gearing classes towards where your interest levels are, the 6th District Compact is an opportunity for you. Our 6th District Compact involves Hudson, Stowe, Falls, Talmadge, Kent, and Woodridge. There's approximately 30 programs available to you. Typically, students enter those programs and do them their junior and senior year. Occasionally, if you're a top sophomore and there's room in the program, they will allow you to start your sophomore year and finish at your junior year. These programs promote not only going right into the workforce when you graduate from high school, but many of them have honors classes as well as AP classes associated to them. You can take classes for college credit within most of the programs. So our 6th District Compact also promotes not only preparing you for employment after graduating from high school, but also going on to college. Interpreting your schedule at Woodridge High School is something that can be kind of tricky, especially when you look at it and realize that it numbers from 1 to 11. I'll tell you right now, you only have 8 classes that are 44 minutes long, plus a 30-minute lunch, so rest assured you don't have to go somewhere 11 times. I will get to an example of that in a second, but first I want to emphasize, despite the fact that the state requires a 20-credit graduation minimum, our Board of Education has added an extra credit on that. So before you graduate from Woodridge High School, you will have had to have earned 21 total credits while earning the 16 core credits that we will talk to you about on a yearly basis. It's important that when you're scheduling, that you're scheduling enough classes to maintain eligibility. I won't get into how College Credit Plus affects that and some of the different work study and career program credits that are earned that are a little atypical. But I will tell you, if you have any eligibility concerns, you make sure that you talk to Mrs. Trotter or I, and we'll make sure that you're taking the minimum number of classes that you need to stay eligible. When looking at an example here of a schedule, probably the easiest way to wrap your head around what your day will look like at Woodridge High School, you all will be somewhere first, second, and third period, unless you're a senior that can come in late with late arrival. And you'll also be somewhere 9, 10, and 11. So everybody will have 6 periods with those numbers associated to them. In between third period and ninth period, that's from 10 o'clock to 12:14, you'll have 2 other 44-minute class periods and a 30-minute lunch. And when those classes depends on when you eat lunch. The easiest example is if you have 6 lunch, then you go from third to what's called 4-5. You have 6 lunch, and then you have a 7-8 class. Please understand that when you see the hyphen numbers on your schedule, it is not a double period, it is not blocked, it's 44 minutes long, just like the rest of them.
Hi, it's Mrs. Trotta again. I wanted to share with you guys the district scheduling policy. Schedules will not be changed for convenience or preference. We will review scheduling errors, and an error is if we misplace a course or we incorrectly schedule a course that you requested last spring. All changes will be reviewed on a case-by-case basis, but we do take into account class sizes and social distancing when we are looking to change schedules. If you do find yourself in class in an academic hardship, and it may not even be like you're really struggling and failing the class, but you might just need little extra help. There's several different opportunities that we offer here at Woodridge. Either individual tutoring, which can be done by a teacher, or reaching out through National Honor Society and connecting you with a student. Learning centers, which are small group study halls. Intervention opportunities, which can be put into place after you reach out to your teacher for help. And then Homework Assistance Center is an after-school opportunity for you guys to get extra help with your classes. Lastly, I wanted to share with you an amazing resource that we use here called a Progress Book. If you use it at the middle school, nothing's changed. You should be able to sign in and pick up right where you left off. If you're new to the district, there's a form to fill out and you can pick up in the guidance office, or fill it out online. On Progress Book, you will be able to look at your schedule, your attendance, your grades. We try to get students in the habit of signing in daily to look and make sure you know where you stand so there's no surprises, and you can reach out to your teachers if there's anything that you don't agree with or doesn't look accurate. And then when you guys get your schedules, you will see your homeroom and your locker number and locker combination, and you should be able to access your schedules later this week by signing into your Progress Book account. Looking forward to meeting you guys in person.
Well, as you can see, we're standing in the hallway at Woodridge High School. There's not a whole lot going on. When school starts, there's a couple things to keep in mind. Since we're dividing our students, A through L, when they start on Monday, August 1st, there's probably going to be around a total of 200 students in our building. So the nice part about being new to a school, when there's only 200 students in it, is it gives you a little bit more room to kind of figure out where you're going and where you need to be. There's going to be staff, there's going to be teachers, there's going to be administrators out and about all day long to give you extra time to get where you need to go. If you get a little misplaced, chances are it's basically a square. There's no stairs here. So if you do get a little lost, I promise it won't be for very long. Make sure once you get back to school that you check your email often. Check your Woodridge email all the time, because I'm going to be giving you information that you're going to need that'll keep you up to date as to what's happening in school. For example, I might send you information about bell schedules, activities that might be going on during the day, any kind of information, I'll email it to you. It's just easier. So start getting in the habit of checking your email. Also, make sure you and your family check the Woodridge High School webpage. On the webpage will be our bell schedule. Our bell schedule is going to start us at school at 7:40 each morning. Students usually get here around 7:15. It gives them plenty of time to get themselves ready to go and into their first period class by 7:40. The end of the day, we end at 2:34, and that's when everyone goes home. So make sure you check our webpage for any of the latest up-to-date information that goes on here at the high school or in the district, and make sure you're checking your emails often.
Hello everybody, and welcome to another school year. We're really excited to have our freshman class here up at Woodridge High School, ready to experience a lot of their best experiences as a young student. So I'm Nick Mayer. I'm the Athletic and Activities Director. I'm going to talk to you a little bit today about just some expectations for athletics at the high school level. The first thing being that our students are student athletes first, and that means that they're part of the school day, and there are requirements that they have to complete during the school day and scholastically in order to be eligible for athletics after school. The bare minimum for that is to pass 5 1-credit hour courses or the equivalent, which is a little bit different than when they were in the middle school. So they want to make sure that they touch base with their guidance counselors, that their guidance counselors are aware that they're a potential athlete, whether that's in the fall, winter, or the spring season, so that the guidance counselors can make sure they're A, registered for enough classes, and B, that they don't drop a class in the future that may negatively affect their athletic eligibility. Going forward as well, we go on 9-week grades, so when a student athlete is enrolled in a course and they are also involved in athletics after school, they get their athletic eligibility determined on a 9-week basis. When the 9-week grades come out, that will determine their eligibility for the next 9 weeks, and then when that grade comes out again in 9 weeks down the road, then that will reestablish their eligibility or would rule them ineligible based on the grades that they receive. Now, for this school year, because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the OHSA has ruled all fall student athletes initially eligible, and then we will continue to check eligibility as we go forward during the 9-week periods. Anything else in terms of athletic eligibility, just make sure you check with the office just to make sure that you're clear on that. We don't want anybody dropping a class or scheduling classes and not being completely sure that it won't negatively affect their academic eligibility for athletics. The next thing I want to talk about is transfer students. All of you guys are here as freshmen. If you were to transfer schools or to move schools, move residences, anything that happens there are some OHSAA rules and regulations in regards to transferring and how that would affect your athletic eligibility. So before you make those decisions, it's always best to check either with us or with the potential school that you're transferring from or transferring to make sure that that athletic eligibility piece is understood, to ensure that there's no surprises when you make that change. It may sound crazy, but NCAA initial eligibility is something that should be on your radar. If your son or daughter is interested in potentially playing a sport at the next level, whether that be in Division 1, 2, or 3, there are initial eligibility requirements from the NCAA that need to be completed by the end of their junior year in order for them to be initially eligible at that level. So the process there is to basically go through your guidance counselor, put it on their radar so that they effectively schedule your classes and that the right amount of courses and core components are passed by the end of their junior year so that there's no issues moving to the next level. We do have an athletic code of conduct. It starts on the first day of school as a freshman, or it starts on the first day of your practice if you're a fall sport student athlete. So if you would have started practice before school starts, it goes into effect, and then it is in effect 24/7, 365 until you graduate. If you were a middle school student athlete, that began when you were a 7th grader and on your first day of school as a 7th grader or your first fall practice. So those handbooks and that student athlete code of conduct is outlined in detail in our student athlete handbook, which is on final forms. It's on our website, woodridgeathletics.com. So be sure to be familiar with that handbook, with that code of conduct, so that you're making sure that you're following all the rules and the expectations of our student athletes here at Woodridge. In terms of access to games this year, it's a little bit different than it usually is in the past. All tickets at the high school level this year are going to be $5. That's a Metro Athletic Conference regulation. That's a student rate, a senior rate, and an adult rate. The only issue there is freshman standalone events. So if you have a freshman event, whether it's basketball, football, volleyball, those types of events, if it's by itself, it's not part of a triple header, it's not part of a back-to-back, then that event will be $3. All tickets are purchased online through woodridgeathletics.com/tickets, and you must have a ticket to enter the facility. Everybody must have a mask on. They must be socially distanced when they're at the facility, and each student athlete gets 2 tickets per student athlete to a home event. Away events may be different, so we will communicate that with our student athletes and the teams as those events come. And last but not least, you guys should all be aware of Final Forms at this point. Final Forms is where you go to register for athletics. It's where you also go to sign off on all your forms for athletics. So be sure to log into that, register for any sports you may be interested in. Our coaches use that platform to communicate with prospective student athletes as well as their current student athletes. And then also we obviously expect that all forms and requirements are signed prior to participation through Final Forms. That can be accessed at woodridgeathletics.com as well, or through the Woodridge District website. That's all the information I have for you specifically today, but please contact our office if you have any questions. We are located at the high school, so 330-929-3191, extension 592104, or you can email us or check out our website. Thanks and have a great school year.
Well, that wraps up our program. I want to make sure that I convey to everyone that whether you're an option A student or an option B student, most importantly, you're a Woodridge High School student. So if you have any questions, any concerns, please call us, email us, get in contact with us. Option B students, we have teachers here who are here to help you, meet with you. Make sure you follow your schedule for option B, just like option A students will follow their schedule. I want to remind our option A students that we do have a Friday schedule. Even though you won't be at Woodridge High School, we have a bell schedule that you'll follow each and every Friday. I also want to take time to tell you that there will be Purell sanitizers throughout the building, in the halls, in the restrooms, and classrooms. So the sanitizer, anything that you need, will be there. But we need to rely on you to make sure you're washing your hands and we're keeping things clean. I'd also like to remind you to check your emails, your Woodridge emails, check our Woodridge webpage, and also make sure you come to school on the days that you are designated to come to school. And when you're working from home, make sure you're completing assignments, projects, and your work while you're at home. I also want to thank Marvin and Jerry's Reviews for creating this production and working with us to make sure that you guys are set to go for the start of a school year. So until next week, when we start on August 31st, please stay healthy, and we'll see you soon.